Super Great Kids Stories is a podcast full of fun tales to make you laugh and cry for anyone aged 5 to 105. Our storytellers share awesome tales which will stay in your head forever. Before you know it, you'll be the storyteller, telling your own version of these stories to your friends and family. Find, subscribe and download Super Great Kids Stories wherever you get your podcasts.
You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. All right, who's the imposter? Thanks to Torbin for sending in that intro for this week's episode of Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast, suitable for all ages from the Middle Ages to the age of galactic robot aliens that won't happen till 2196, and of course everything in between. But who is the imposter? It's a very good question, Torbin, and it's only me, Tiernan, here as per usual, so I don't think it's me. Is it? Am I the imposter? Should I be here? Oh no. Maybe it should be someone else hosting and I've snuck in and I hadn't realised. Oh dear, I'd probably better go. Sorry everyone, that's really awkward. It's quite embarrassing and I'm sure your real host will be along in a minute. It's a shame, I was enjoying doing this, but bye.
Hello, it is me, the real host, Cheese Manson, the best stinky hippo radio host in town, and welcome to the Comedy Club for Squids podcast, Radu Nonsense, where we'll be talking about all things squids and stinky hippos. What? No, you can get out of here right now. You're not going to be my replacement. I'm not having a stinky hippo replace me. No! Ugh. We can't have that again. A stinky hippo hosting this show. Awful. And now the whole studio smells of a fart omelette. Ugh. Sorry, everyone. It turns out I wasn't the imposter at all. And I don't know who is, but what I do know is the answer to the question, who's the imposter, was just not me. It's not me. I'm glad that's all sorted out. Right, back to the show. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I hope you're all doing splendiferously, which I think means well, but really, if someone asked you how you were and you said, I'm splendiferous, I'd probably suggest you see a doctor. Obviously, if you are still stuck at home, it is one of a number of replies that will wind up or confuse those poop pillars that you live with. Sorry, grown-ups. You know, if they ask if you're okay. They always do, don't they? Are you okay? Are you okay? That's what I do with my daughter. It drives her crazy. Another thing you can say, if they say, are you okay? You can just reply with, no, I'm shrinking. And if they say, no, you're not, you seem the same size to me, then you can say, oh no, you must be shrinking too. That is a lot of fun. Thank you for the many brilliant questions you've been sending in. I am currently up to my eyeballs in great questions, but as they are all on emails, I'm just having to push my eye into my laptop, and it's very uncomfortable. And it now smells of stinky hippo. Ugh. Anyway, if you haven't sent in a question yet, or an intro, or both, like Torbin has done this week, and you'd like to, or in fact there's something else that you want to tell us, anything at all, jokes or just noises or something you saw that you thought was funny, or just your shopping list, whatever you want, then please get those grown-ups, to help you email us at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk, and we'll get a comedian to answer it as soon as we can. And don't forget, if you or your friends or your school or just any of your groups that you're part of or anything would like a live online Comedy Club for Kids show to cheer everyone up, then drop us a line via our website at comedyclubforkids.co.uk and we'll see what we can do. And now for the important bit of the show.
Oi, you! Get out of here! I'm going to have to put new locks on the door. I don't know how he's getting in. Sorry, now for the important bit of the show. I'm joined today by Silky, aka the Silky Way, aka Silky Bilky, aka top on the world leaderboard in wagging your finger disapprovingly at pigeons, and of course the number 7 greatest biscuit flinger in the entire universe. Hello mate, how you doing?
I just needed... Have we started?
Yeah, that was... Oh, what have you been eating?
No, a lot of biscuits. Lot of biscuits.
Hang on, wait.
Some things...
I thought you had to fling
them.
Some
things look like biscuits. Yeah, but you get this kind of sixth sense almost for what is and what isn't a biscuit, and some of them I was wrong on. So I've eaten a few drinks coasters. You know, there's kind of the ones that are like, yeah. Anyway, so they're repeating on me a bit, but it's all right. I've got some tea here. So
That's good.
Hiya.
Hello.
It's
So,
lovely
wait,
to
hang on,
talk to you.
hang on. Before we do the greetings bit, because obviously I do want to ask how you are, but I've got a big question. You've got to fling biscuits, but you've got to eat them to check if they're biscuits before you fling them. How do you fling them once you've eaten them? Do you have to sort of sick them up and then fling them?
Okay, you nibble at the edges.
Right.
Just
Okay.
kind of go around. You know the way they make toilet seats like that.
Yes.
But instead of from the outside in, from the inside out.
Right. Okay, got it. And then you can also make it more aerodynamic by sort of nibbling it in certain shapes.
Yeah, precisely. You can nibble it into the shape of a dart,
Wow.
which is difficult. You've got to it's the kind of lathe face you need for that, for lathing your face along. But you can also kind of do like a standard frisbee, but getting biscuits that big is difficult.
Yeah, I bet.
Do you know a frisbee will hold over 3 pints of water?
Well, I mean,
Well,
that
not
is
just
amazing. But I was going to say, like, why? Because that would be sort of it's a really difficult way to have a drink, isn't it? If you said, "Oh, I'm really thirsty," and then someone threw a frisbee full of water
Gave you
at
a
your face,
frisbee.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of the water would come out.
yeah.
Probably almost all.
And
There
also,
might
you
be
got
a
the
little-
worry of like as you're about to do it, like a dog would catch it.
Oh, number of biscuits I've lost to dogs.
Ugh.
And a dog will not give a biscuit back. I mean, the thing is, chocolate's really bad for dogs. So if someone's throwing chocolate biscuits and there's a dog in the area, you've really got to be on your game. You've really got to be good. Because, yeah, you don't want to be making the dog sickly from biscuits.
No.
Whereas pink wafers, they can eat as many as they want, but they don't fly very well.
Yes. Okay. So there's so many problems that you have to do. I mean, this has been a busy time for you, obviously.
Do you know, it's been chock a block. I've been I've been full as an egg. Full as an egg.
Full as an egg. Wow. Well, I was going to ask how you're getting on, but obviously we've already heard that you are very, very busy with biscuit nibbling and flinging and being as full as an egg. Are you well otherwise, other than your biscuit flinging antics?
Yeah, I'm good. A lot of my job in the before times used to be driving between places and travelling between places. So although I used to like being in those places, the travelling was quite dead time. So it's really nice to spend more time at home with my girlfriend, who still likes me,
Oh, that's handy.
which is good. Yeah, I do lots of cooking and I do kind of podcasts with my friends like you, and I just go for walks, and I don't have to spend 10 hours in a car, which is really nice because it means you don't have to spend money on diesel, and you don't have to spend money on snacks, and you don't have to swerve to avoid, things in the road like bollards. Come to think of it, then there was some swings, and then there was a roundabout, and then
You were driving in the park.
I was in the park. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was driving in the park.
Yeah, that's
Ah,
you've really got to
yeah.
not to. I mean, I guess you're not doing that anymore, so that is one bonus of being at home.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, okay. I promise not to drive in the park anymore. Fine.
That's
I'll
for the
promise not
best.
to park up trees. I promise to always clean up after my dog. If I get a dog, I haven't got a dog.
You don't have to
I
clean
won't
up
just-
after other people's dogs, do you? That's not the rule. It's only after your own dog, isn't it?
Do you know, the last time it was, you get the rotor through and you got to hoover the park.
Yeah.
The look on Henry's face as he was kind of hoovering up dog poo. He's still smiling, but
Yeah. It's a really
Oh,
horrible
it's-
job, that. I mean, hoovering the park takes so long.
it's ages. And if it's been raining as well, the electrical fires. We had lots of snow, and the park was really nice for the first kind of half an hour, and then everyone came out, and it just looked like a great big kind of. It was just kind of mud. Everyone was sledging on it, and everyone was rolling over on it and making snowmen and stuff, and it looked a mess. And I thought someone's going to have to hoover this.
Yeah. It's a big problem with snow, isn't it? It looks absolutely brilliant and for about half an hour, and then it looks horrible. And my daughter, who had never seen snow before, we had snow for about an afternoon down here, and
Right.
she got very excited because she's 2 3/4, as she shouts at everyone, and she was like, "Snow,
2
snow,
and
snow!" Yeah, 2 3/4, and she wanted to go straight out in it, and she ran out and ran around like crazy 15 minutes, and then went, "I'm really cold," and then wanted to go back in and watch the TV, and that was it. No, she didn't care about snow anymore. And I thought, That's the best way, I think, to do it. That just for 15 minutes, and then
I am finished.
done.
I've had enough snow.
I've done.
Thank you.
I've completed snow now.
I have ticked snow off my list. I like the way that she's 2 3/4, not 2.75. I am 2.75.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I should suggest to her to get into decimal points rather than fractions.
Well, it's a way of freaking out grown-ups. I went for a swim just before all the big lockdown happened. Myself and my girlfriend, we went to the baths, and I was in the changing room, and there was a boy there who was probably about 5, and he was with his dad, and he started counting down from about 43, 42, 41. And just we didn't know why he was counting down. He just started doing it from this random, and it really freaked us out because his dad didn't know either. So we're sort of looking at each other and going, I don't know. And his dad's going, I don't know what he's doing. We're like, why are you doing that? 39. The most sinister thing. A small child just counting down towards something only they know. 38. It was great fun.
That is
but I
terrifying.
did leave quickly just in case he went off.
So you didn't see what happened, and
No, God, I ran.
yeah, that's wise. That's what I would have done as well. But I kind of
37.
there wasn't like you didn't hear a noise. I sort of worry that as you're running away, you just heard like a big, or something just terrifying.
Young Coppola! And then just a load of swimming trunks coming out of the fireball in the roof of the baths.
That would be amazing and absolutely terrifying. That is very scary. Wow. Yes. Well, you've been going to. I should also point out to the listeners that when you said you went to the baths, that swimming pools, you didn't just like sit in a big bath.
No, it was a swimming pool. It was
Right.
definitely a swimming pool. You can tell the difference is taps.
Oh yeah, yeah. And are you able to? You're not able to pull out the plug, are you, in a swimming pool?
No, and bubble bath. By and large, they frown upon you putting a load of bubble bath in the swimming baths and then kind of sloshing it around. Well, can you imagine the height of the bubbles you could get?
Be amazing.
Oh,
Be absolutely amazing.
I mean, you could dive off the board, and if you just went sideways, you'd probably just land in the bubbles. You might not make it to the water.
It sounds wonderful. Oh, for any listeners, we just had to briefly pause then, so we could get rid of all those bees that you just heard.
Yeah, I love bees.
Yeah, it's.
I've got 9.
Oh, 9. Is it? Was that just 9? They were quite noisy for 9.
Mm-hmm. 9 bees, 9 hand-picked bees.
That's great. How do you pick
'Cause
them? Because that's quite different. That's quite dangerous in the first place, isn't it?
No. What you do is you put the process out for tender. You send an email to Queen@Hive. Say, hello, Your Majesty, do you have any bees who are interested in having a bit more personal space?
Nice.
Because there's loads of bees in a hive. But some of them just feel a bit cramped.
Sure.
So I just make a bit of space for them.
That's lovely. And what do they have their own room at your place, or what do you do?
No, they've got their own car. It's a Volvo estate. I've got a load of them from the scrapyard. So there's kind of 3x3, but not on a kind of, it's 3x3 up in the air. So it's 3 and then 3 on the middle layer and then 3 on the top.
That's
because
great.
they're boxy, but they're good Volvos. So
yeah, how lovely.
And
What
the
a nice
seats
thing
fall
to
down
do.
in the back. So.
Well, I was going to. I mean, one of the questions.
No pressure to make any honey or anything.
Do you get any anyway? Like, do they make stuff? Are they making some anyway, or do they make something else?
Well, the thing is, I thought if I'm going to throw it open, what I might as well do is kind of throw it wider than that and see if they fancy taking up any hobbies. So that actually, hobbies
Nice.
comes from the bees.
Right.
But yeah, one of them is very much into military history. Another one of them, she makes her own gravy.
Bee gravy sounds amazing. Yeah.
Bavy, it's called, yeah, but she makes her own gravy. And considering that, bees, by and large, are wholly vegetarian, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's good to see, because, I mean, for too long, gravy's been the preserve. Well, not the preserve, obviously. Jam's been the preserve, but gravy's been the preserve of people having kind of full-on Sunday roasts. You can have it with other stuff, but, yeah, bees make really good gravy. I mean, it's quite sweet. Yeah. What else? What other hobbies have they got? One of them is very, really, really into tinkering, like kind of model railways.
Right.
Started with model railways and clockwork, but just there's a lot of tinkering going on. Yeah, so basically there's another 6 bees who've got hobbies, but we can explore those later.
That's great. I was also going to say, I suppose a model railway for a bee is actually a normal railway.
Yes. But bees, by and large, their commute isn't quite so linear.
Yeah, and they don't need to get on. They've got wings, so yeah.
Yeah, there is that. They have a very strict no flying, please, policy on account of it being quite noisy. Someone might be trying to read, and if someone's there, because you've got 2 sets of wings that move. I think is it like a figure of 8?
I think so. Yeah.
And then there's no waggle dancing, no hot food, no smoking, no waggle dancing. I've said no waggle dancing. What else? Have you seen anything suspicious? Phone the British Transport Bee Police.
Sure. Makes sense. Yeah.
It does.
Well, one of the things I was going to ask you was if, you're stuck at home, a lot of listeners are stuck at home. I was wondering if you had any tips for making it easier or fun things to do. But you've already given us loads. We've had biscuit flinging. We've had, getting 9 of your own bees. There's quite a lot of things that you're already up to. And is there anything else that you might be able to give the listeners as a suggestion for, a tip if you're stuck at home? Yeah,
there's tons and tons of stuff. In your house, there'll probably be places where you can hide things. So, what are you laughing at? You haven't heard it yet?
I'm already excited.
So basically, what you do is you try and work out what would hide in that place. So, for example, if it's like down the spine of a hardback book, you can definitely hide a house key down there. And then if it's slightly larger, like kind of under a bed, you could probably hide not a pair of shoes, but 2 shoes, 1 each from 2 pairs. There's lots of things. It's a mixture of concealment and like a surprise for your family. Because obviously, if someone's been locked out for ages and ages, and you've hidden the house key, for example, in the letterbox of the house 2 doors down, then that is a really nice present for someone to find. Or they might not, and that way you can kind of choose who comes in and out of the house.
Well, also, you see, I'd argue, right, that when people say, oh, have you seen my keys? And then, like, if you're living with your family, someone always go, oh, it's the last place you left them. It's always really boring when it is the last place you left them, or actually, that they were in your pocket all along. It'd be far more exciting if actually after 4 days of searching, they were hidden in a book like some sort of magical treasure.
Yep, precisely. Or, in jelly, if you got some jelly, you can make jelly. Just put someone's house keys in a jelly and just leave it in the fridge. Have you seen my house keys? Yes, I have. Where were my house keys? The last place I looked. So not the last place you looked, but the last place I looked. And where was the last place you looked at my house keys? In the fridge in a bowl of lemon jelly.
And then they've got to eat their way to their keys as well.
They do, yeah. You can go out, but if you want to come back in, you've either got to take the jelly with you or eat it here and now.
I think you should make it mandatory. They have to carry the jelly with them, and only when they get back to the door can they eat the jelly and get to the keys.
Yeah, because that. Oh, but sometimes when people get back home, they really need the loo, and they're kind of hopping from foot to foot, and they get clumsy because the key won't fit in the lock, and and then they've got to eat a big jelly as well. I'm trying to remember the last time I ate a big jelly. I've not eaten a big jelly in too long. I
haven't eaten a big jelly in ages. I just don't really have a big jelly anymore.
What?
I don't know when I'm trying to think when I would have had a big jelly. Like, it doesn't. I feel like my life is lacking in jelly and ice cream.
Well, we can. Who's in charge of your house? Who's in charge of food and all that? And
it's meant to be me, but I've obviously done something terrible. Can I just check as well? Because we've got some listeners who are in America and they call jam jelly. But I don't know what they call. Do they call jelly? Is it Jello or do they call it?
I don't know.
Jelly?
I don't know.
Jolly.
In France they call jelly truth, and in Russia they call it gang 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 gang. And in China they're not allowed jelly.
Oh,
very repressive.
Oh, that's very sad.
Yeah, and different parts of the country they use different jellies. Like in Yorkshire, they use jelly in pork pies, which is strange because you don't put pork pies in jelly because you just.
Well, also, I always see in like pet food, like not that I look at pet food that often, but often in pet food, it's like this dog food comes in a something jelly, and
Since when was jelly a good selling point for dog food?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't
The dog's there going, it's not even my birthday. Why have I got jelly? I know that the French for grapefruit is pamplemousse, but I know that you know the best word in German because you told me.
It is the German word for rhubarb jam / jelly for the listen, or I can't remember. Anyway, condiment for rhubarb preserve, which is in German it's Rhubarber Marmelade, which is the best word I've ever heard, and I think everyone should shout it all the time.
Rhubarber Marmelade.
Speaking of which, Silky, that is one of my favourite words, but this is obviously an audio podcast. The listeners cannot see you in your splendid shirt, your incredibly giant neon hat, or any of the other things that you're wearing.
I can't see either of my eyes revolving.
It's a real shame that actually, but also that is quite distracting. But I was going to ask if you could, if you had a favourite noise.
I can make him go around the back of my head. The back of my head. Hang on, I'm just going to turn around. Hiya!
That is, I'm actually quite haunted by that.
Good.
Yeah.
Poetic.
It is, and also quite terrifying. Well, yeah, I was just going to ask, because it's an audio podcast, do you have a favourite noise that you could share with our listeners?
I've got two. I think one of them is that one. Because you got to do it until you make yourself laugh, and then your ears pop, and you get this in your ear. And the other one is that one, which is
both of those are remarkable. Hang on, the first one wasn't just like a fart noise, because you pulled your lips in a certain way. It's almost like a duck fart.
Yeah, because try it. You've got to kind of squeeze your top and bottom lips together with finger and first finger and bottom, but then you've got to turn it up into a smile.
I can't quite. Yeah,
and because you're smiling, your brain doesn't quite work out how ridiculous it is until you're already blowing through it, and then you laugh, and because you get that weird effect in your head, like when you go downhill really quickly, and your ears pop. It's like that.
It is brilliant. It is brilliant. And the second noise, what's that? The sound of?
That's my sister's a vet, and that's an essential noise that vets use.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.
It's for getting your arm back from a cow.
Oh dear. Well, thank you, Silky. Those are some amazing noises. And of course, the other thing that I have to ask you as a guest on this show is, it's a family-friendly podcast. It is suitable for all ages, from to and everything in between. And I just want to check, that this is family-friendly, and if there is a rude word that you definitely won't be saying for the rest of the show.
I will definitely, because it's a family-friendly podcast, and we all know how friendly families can be. I will definitely not be in any way, shape or form referring to or even mentioning the word muhakis, for example. Oh, right, the muhakis. Or, ha-ha, up the old muhakis. Or, I found it, would you believe, in the muhakis.
Yeah.
Have you had that? It's really warm. I
mean, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased you're not going to say that is an appalling word, and I frankly, I don't think anyone should say muhakis at any point.
Oh, that looks sore. Have you trapped it? No, I have an inflammation of the muhakis.
Yeah. It's a really rude word, and it is something that I don't think anyone should ever say. Frankly, muhakis is
You should definitely not walk up to a grown-up and say, I'm going to smack you on the muhakkis.
Yeah, definitely don't smack someone on the Well, yeah, I think you probably could smack them on the muhakkis. I wouldn't say smack them on the muhakkis. That is where you cross the line.
Yeah, you go easy. Go easy on that.
Yeah.
Use it sparingly.
Okay, Silky, the important question, the reason I've got you here, because I know you're an expert in these matters, we have had a question sent in from Torbin, who hasn't given an age, so he could just be immortal, I'm not sure. But he has asked, and I think this is the perfect question for you, actually. He's asked, what would happen if instruments played themselves?
If instruments played themselves, musicians would be demoted from the rank of musician to, for example, bassoon wrangler. There wouldn't be many of them, but there'd be kind of guitar wranglers, bass wranglers, drum wranglers. Basically, you'd be in charge of their happiness, maintenance, I suppose, restringing from time to time. But if they played themselves, it would be dead easy to know where the music shops were, because there'd just be noise all day long, all time. Oh, it's a music shop. Oh, what's next door to it? Florists. Boringly quiet.
Would there be music shops? Because if the instruments could play themselves, surely they'd be sort of, sentient. It would feel a bit mean to sell them off, wouldn't it?
No, I think they'd need a guiding hand. Because, I mean, everyone's seen a stray ukulele. The damage they can do. Oh, God, the noise out of them. Can you imagine bagpipes on the loose?
Oh, no. At night as well.
Bagpipes in the wrong hands. Terrible. Bagpipes in the right hands. All right. Bagpipes in the wrong hands. Oh, no.
A veritable weapon.
Like someone's stamping on a sleeping bag full of hate and farts. If instruments could play themselves, I'd like to see an orchestra where all the instruments start playing themselves, and all the musicians there going, what's going on? Did you do that? No, it's my tuba did it. Oh, really? And the conductor be getting more and more annoyed. Trombones would be really sarcastic.
And the orchestras, there's always there's often someone that's just got like a big gong or a really big drum at the back.
Yes.
And it's always just used once. So it'd be like the thing will go on for 3.5 hours, and everyone will play the violins, and suddenly right at the end, bong! And they've had to wait the whole time. But if that could just go off all the time, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. Happy birthday, bong! What? Yeah, mother of God. Yes.
Do you think, if there was an orchestra of instruments that played themselves, would they play together? Because part of me wonders if instruments play themselves, would there be different factions? Like, would the brass section always want to be louder, or would they play together nicely?
Oh, I don't know. Probably depends on the mood. I mean, if they've been well fed, if they've been well watered, I think, they'd be pretty content. Whereas if you get like a kind of, a really hungry xylophone, like kind of multicolored teeth, or a swanee whistle,
oh wow,
or a kazoo, a slightly hungover kazoo. Oh
yeah, that'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Not a big fan of that.
I
don't know.
Yeah,
that's a really good question, Torbin. That's a brilliant question, and I think if instruments could play themselves, the world would be no one would get any sleep. Yeah,
because instruments don't need to sleep, do they? So they'd just be up all night.
Nope. They are merciless honking and parping machines. A bit like you and me when we've had a can of lager. Oh, hang on a second.
Oh, there's some more.
Terribly sorry.
Biscuits keep coming back.
Yes. Oh dear. Are we allowed to burp on the podcast?
I don't know. Never really tried it before. I don't see why not.
Okay.
I mean, in a way, you're playing yourself like an instrument right there. So I feel like if anything,
I really am.
It's research purposes.
Yeah, all right.
That was amazing. I mean, it probably wouldn't be that different to that, just very different set. I mean, do you think we'd have to start competing as humans if instruments could play themselves? And obviously, you're talking about a lot of musicians be out of work or would have to do other jobs. Would we have to compete by making our own noises even louder and more musical?
Well, I've been in bands, and I know that lead singers don't need any excuse to try and make themselves look bigger and better. So, I'd like to see a lead singer versus 4 drum kits. Yeah.
Wow. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Just screaming in the middle of 4 drum kits.
Yeah. Please help. Their sticks are very pointy.
And cymbals always look quite sharp as well. I always think a bit like the frisbee we were discussing earlier. If somebody threw a cymbal at you, I don't think that'd be particularly nice.
No. Your head would come off.
Yeah. It should be very scary. Is there an instrument that you wish could play it? So what would be your favourite one that you would wish could play itself?
Oh, blimey. I think I think anywhere you go where they've got an accordion nailed to the wall, like an Irish pub, the accordion should be able to take itself off the wall and go round to the house of whoever's idea it was to nail an accordion to the wall and just play relentlessly.
Wow. That would be
just play relentlessly.
Awful. But fair punishment. Yeah, fair punishment.
Yeah, just revenge.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of talk of revenge on the Comedy Club for Kids podcast?
We
Is
don't.
It normally kind of...
No, it's quite a nice podcast.
Of vengeance.
We've had a previous episode where there has been revenge between astronauts and robots. But other than that, it doesn't happen. Not a lot of revenge happens on the show. And I think you're right to bring it in there. I think that would be a time where accordions should seek out vengeance for what they've had to go through. I mean, they also, think about it, life of an accordion, you're constantly pulled and then squished, and that's got to be pretty horrible.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's like kind of breathing in or out. A bit.
Yeah, but someone else is making you breathe in or out. So, if you were playing yourself, that's fine. But if somebody's grabbing you and making you breathe in and out, that'd be horrible.
Yeah. Like if kind of someone's got you under the arms and then it's kind of pulling on your feet and then squeezing you.
Yeah.
You've got to be very careful doing that because you might get, one out the back.
Yeah. Very, very dangerous. See, I quite like, obviously if a harp was playing itself, that'd be really lovely and serene. But then also I think sometimes you see in those films or something, a piano that plays itself because it's a ghost playing or something. And that's actually always quite nice though. That's quite good.
Ooh, I have all of eternity in the universe to explore, and I'm not going to venture further than my piano stool. Ooh, because I lack imagination. Oh, the part of this ghost has been badly underwritten. Ooh. Yeah? I think...
Yeah. I was going to say that the only thing, what if you never had a chance to play a guitar, a piano? Sorry, you never had a chance to play a piano, and then as a ghost, you're like, finally, I can get to a piano.
I can play a piano.
Yeah.
Now I can use this limbo between the sleep of the eternal peace of death and my troubled life. I can use my status as a lonely spirit wandering the earth to just pick up some new skills.
Yeah.
A bit like Lockdown.
Almost exactly like Lockdown. Yeah.
In the film Truly Madly Deeply, which has got Alan Rickman, who played Snape, and Juliet Stevenson in, it's a lovely film, and Alan Rickman's character has died, and he comes back as a ghost, but he's been learning Spanish.
Yes, of course he is. So it's almost exactly like that. It's probably ghosts that have learned to make sourdough, and there's ghosts that have taken up exercise. There's got to be all the things.
Stick a banana bread.
That's
jokes.
It.
Yeah, Joe Wicks. Ghosts who've done Joe Wicks and are getting a bit bored of it.
That's it.
Jokes who miss their mates from school. Did I just call them jokes? Ghosts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ones that you see
It's
through.
very rude to ghosts.
When you can see through jokes as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is confusing.
It's very cute. I worry that you've just called all ghosts jokes and now they're going to haunt you for a very long time.
Yeah, but I don't... I believe in jokes. I don't believe in ghosts. Ooh, shut up.
That might have been one of your bees playing a trick though, so...
Yeah. Oh, one of my bees is a big fan of practical jokes.
Sure.
Big fan of practical jokes. Yeah. Oh, that last one it did, basically, it put this lovely little kind of tablecloth out with little plates of jam and nectar. And one of the other bees came and landed on it. And when it landed on it, 160,000 volts.
Wow. Wow. That
Wired
is...
it up to quite an epic transformer. And the bee was livid. I mean, it sounded like a wasp. It just,
awful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the things you've been dealing with, that's tricky to live with that level of prankery. That's amazing.
Yes, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And I don't know if anyone's got a cat or a new puppy that's ever pooed into one's slippers. Well, I was, yeah. But then my girlfriend realised that we didn't have any pets at all, and she pointed the finger of blame right at me. And fair play to her. She was right. She was right. Yeah. I just did it out of boredom.
But you got to keep yourself. It's something we discussed already on the show. It's the things you got to do to keep yourself entertained during lockdown. So I think that is.
And we are a very territorial species.
Exactly. And now those are your slippers, right?
Yep. Yeah. And also, what I like to do is wait just inside the front door and growl at the postman.
Does he know that you're not a dog? Like, is he aware that it's just you growling, or does he think you've got a dog?
I don't know, because he does sometimes ring the doorbell and then I have to stand up and go, I'll be with you in a minute, just getting the keys. And then I've got to remember where I put the keys.
And then they're in a book, and that's really...
Oh, yeah.
Very
I hid them in some slippers, but then there was all that... Yeah, it backfired on me quite badly, actually. And then the slipper was in a bowl of jelly in the fridge. So a slipper full of poo and a bowl of jelly in the fridge, and my key was in that, so... I should have just got it out with my hands rather than eating it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I've got...
No wonder you're burping.
I badly miscalculated.
Yeah. Obviously, we've gone on a tangent here, but the question is, what would happen if instruments played themselves? Silky, you've got an instrument there with you. I don't know if it plays itself or if... I've only ever seen you play it.
I'll have a go. I'm going to play it.
That sounds nice.
Practice. And now, if I just leave it on its own.
Oh, wow.
I don't know any what the...
I mean, I should say, listeners, Silky's hands are nowhere near this guitar right now.
I've just been shown up. I'm going to put you back in your case.
Well, there you go. I mean, that was amazing. Well, Torbin, I think that is the definitive answer to your question. If instruments play themselves, I mean, and no offense, Silky, you're very good, but I think they're almost better, aren't they? It would almost be better.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. Just a bit heartbroken.
Yeah, it's quite disappointing. I didn't expect this question to end in disappointment and sadness, but it sort of has. Yeah,
gone on stage and held it all those times.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even need to go on stage. Like, the fact is, you didn't even need to be there. You could have just left it on there and gone and had a cup of tea.
I could have. Oh, the one thing I can do that the microphone can't do, though, I can play the microphone stand because it does that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is very good.
Go on, microphone, do that.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
I'm worried. I'm worried that we're this question and in fact this podcast may cause some sort of instrument uprising, and
no,
there's going to be noise from here on in.
The bagpipes are coming.
The bagpipes are coming. What a terrifying thought. Well, thank you, Silky. Thank you so much for your expertise in this area. I knew you were the person to ask this question to, and I do hope that you have a lovely rest of your time with the biscuits, with the pooing in slippers, with the bees, with the hiding keys. I mean, you've got so much going on, really. So
I do. I'm quite a lucky man, really. I'm quite a lucky man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reach for the positive.
That's it.
Reach for the positive. What you appreciate.
Well, thank you tons for joining us on the show.
It's my pleasure. Go easy.
Well, Torbin, I hope that's answered your question, and I do hope you don't get bothered by nighttime self-playing bagpipes anytime soon. Thank you loads to Silky for that very expert answer, as well as beekeeping tips and object hiding fun ideas. Should you have any questions, of course, that you need answering, or anything at all that you want to send us, then please get your grown-ups to help you send! No, I said no. This is the last time. No, the whole place now smells like someone filled a duffel bag with sick and posted it to a rotten custard factory. It's just disgusting. Sorry, what I meant to say was please ask your poop pillars, grown-ups, to help you email us at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk, and if they fancy thanking us for answering your questions and making you laugh till you wee a bit, then they can buy us some anti-imposter stink hippo spray, which we really need right now, by donating to the Acast supporter button or our ko-fi.com/comedyclub4kids site. This will be back next week, so we'll see you then when I overthrow the imposters and Stinky Buzz rule supreme! Oh my goodness. And don't come back. Right. Bye.
You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents.
Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. It's the end.